All right, people, what the hell is going on? Talking Texans time, baby. Texans pull it off in Indianapolis, and this heat is burning inside of my head. Oh my goodness. 2016 game just went off. The second game hadn't even come on yet. I don't know what to say, man. It's the same thing. Ginger beer. Great value ginger beer. Anyway, it's the same thing. The only difference is now is the Texans are winning the games that they were losing to start the season. But the play is the same. Offense ain't gotten no better. It really hasn't. Ugh. Damn. Goddamn ginger beer. Yeah. The offensive play hadn't really gotten any better. And if it has, it's slightly better. But it's the same thing. Offense put up 20 points in this game, and the defense did what they do. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't no turnovers in this game here. I had to go ahead and finish that. I'm not a sipper. I don't like sipping shit. Hey, why motherfucker? I hate watching these damn these NFL shows and shit. Why the black person? Everybody up there dressed normal, and it's always the black person that got to come out there dressed like a goddamn clown. Get the fuck out of here. If the suit is sponsored, okay. But if that's just how you come out there dressed like a fucking moron and everybody else got on a regular ass suit and tie. Yeah. Anyway, Texans. Offense. And the offense is the same all year. They move the ball up the field just fine. Even in this game, they move the ball up the field just fine. As well as you can without a running game, because the Texans' running game is beyond ass at this point. And that's not even I don't even think it's much of a personnel thing. It's a scheme thing. It is. You got two good running backs. I'm looking at the offensive line. They should be able to move people up front. But I don't think it's their job in the scheme to really move people like that. I don't think that it's schemed up. Apparently, our offense is supposed to be modeled after the old Patriots offense. You know, when Brady was there and shit like that. And I'm like, okay, well, think about the running backs. Think about the running backs. In that Patriots offense. Unless you're a Patriots fan, you ain't gonna tell me nobody's name. You're not gonna tell me nobody's name. Because it wasn't no prolific running backs in that system at all. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't. So, and when I look at the Texans offense, I watch them, they try to run the ball, and I'm like, They not designed for that. The offense is not designed for that. And then when I hear them talking about we're gonna be a run first offense and blah 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 blah, I'm like, at this point in the season, I don't want to hear no coach, nobody nowhere say that shit. I don't want to hear nothing about the Texans want to be a run first team. Ain't nothing about what they've done all season said that they can't even run the ball twice in a fucking row. Because the good Texans runs, they might have 2 or 3 good runs of about 8-9 yards or some shit like that. Damn. In a game. Sorry. Excuse me, goddamn. I guess I drunk that little ginger beer too fast. Oh, this little tiny ass can did all that. Oh my goodness. Tastes good, but it's expensive shit. But anyway, I like the way the offense moves the ball, but I just they gotta find a way to they gotta change their scheme up and shit to where it's like, okay, we need to move the ball. We need to move the ball. And you need to be able to run the ball consistently. You know what I'm saying? You need to be able to run. All this fucking 1-2 yard ass carries I'm seeing is frustrating me. Even when they win in the game, that shit pisses me off. You can't run the ball for more than 2 goddamn yards. You know? It irks me. It really does. It's just like 2 yards. And you look at the Texans offensive line, and they got these huge ass motherfuckers out here. And I'm like, really? We got these big ass motherfuckers out here, and our offensive line is fucking huge. They need to do a offensive line and see who has the largest offensive line. And I know size ain't everything, but you have to be a certain size. But man, we got a 6'6", 6'7" motherfucker at one tackle, 330, 40 goddamn pounds. At another tackle, we got a motherfucker 6'8", damn near 400 pounds. You know what I'm saying? I think the smallest motherfucker on our goddamn team is the goddamn the center. And you tell me we can't. They had to get 1 goddamn yard. They ran the sneak twice and couldn't get it. They ran a sneak twice and couldn't fucking get it. And the second time they ran it, they only needed about less than the fucking yard. They needed about this much to run a sneak. Only thing you gotta do is hike the ball and do that. That's all. Like literally, that's all you have to do. You get the ball from under center. You stick your arm forward like that. First goddamn down. We couldn't even get that. Gave up the ball on fucking downs. Man, you know, it's just like, and I don't really talk about the defense a whole lot because it ain't shit to talk about on the defense. The only thing that I can tell you today about the defense that I noticed, because you know I just watched the goddamn game, and like that ball stayed off of that goddamn right side. The Colts right side. The ball stayed for fucking over there. All they passes went on the side with Kamara Lassiter. They didn't even fuck with Stingley today. They didn't. I didn't hear Stingley's name not one time while I was watching this game. I didn't. I didn't hear his name not one time. I didn't even. I'm sitting here watching the game. I didn't even see him. I didn't even see him. Pretty sure he was out there, but yeah, they stay. Oh goddamn, who got their ass whooped? 25-3. Oh, that's the Titans. Sorry. Yeah, I'm like, man, get the fuck out of here. That was like, and it was obvious. All they passes was on the left side of the field, and they were getting tossed over there. You know. You can say what you want about Daniel Jones, blah 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 blah. Yeah, man, look. That motherfucker could put the ball where he wanted. I tell you that. That motherfucker could put the ball where he goddamn wanted. And it was pissing me off. And it's one of them things where a quarterback hit his receiver like they goddamn toe tap, foot drag, or whatever the fuck, I don't remember the name. It's just like, man, the fuck you supposed to do with? What are we supposed to do with that? The ball was out of bounds. You know what I'm saying? He caught the ball was out of bounds when he caught it. He caught that motherfucker and dragged that. Ain't nothing you can do about that. I can't even get mad. I got mad at some other shit on that side of the field with Kamara Lassiter, and I'm just like, But it's one of them things like, The ball just happened to be right out of motherfucker reach where only the receiver could get it. Nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can goddamn do about it. And I'm just like, Even on the Stroud had a throw to Nico on the left side of the field. But that down the goddamn field. And the only thing with that was Nico didn't high point the ball right. Nico jumped too early. He misjudged it. He misjudged it. He got his hands on the ball, but he jumped up to catch that motherfucker. And he jumped up to catch it, but by the time the ball starts, by the time the ball got to his hands, he was on his way down. You know what I'm saying? He jumped up to catch the ball, and he high pointed it, but the ball hadn't got there yet. So he was on his way down when the ball got to where his hands were at the peak. You know, it's a slight misjudgment. That's a slight goddamn misjudgment. And that would have been a nice play right there. That would have been a nice goddamn play. And I was like, I wanted to be mad at it, but I'm just like, would I have caught that? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know, I don't get off the ground all that goddamn. Well, I'm thinking about me back in the day. I don't get off the ground all that goddamn well. You know, I probably wouldn't be able to jump up high enough to catch that anyway. But anyway, another thing that pissed me off was that they didn't even go for the field goal, 65-yard field goal. 2 seconds left on the clock. You know what I'm saying? 2 seconds left on the clock. They decide not to go for the goddamn long field goal at the end of the half, and instead do some weird ass goddamn Hail Mary where they end up throwing the ball goddamn 15 yards short of the end zone. And I'm like, what the fuck are y'all doing? 65-yard field goal. The likelihood that we make it is slim. You know what I'm saying? The likelihood of you making it is slim. You know what you do? You tell them, okay, boom. You hike the ball. You go for the kick. Everybody head goddamn downfield. Because then once he kicked the ball, it's basically a punt. You know what I'm saying? It's basically a punt after that. So everybody up the goddamn field. That's what you tell them. We're going to go for it. He might miss it. He might, whatever. Hey, cat. You all right? Yeah. So I'm just like, man, look, go for the field goal. It's better than the likelihood of you going hitting a Hail Mary. You know what I'm saying? You got a kicker that got a leg that where it's at least possible. He's kicked 60 plus before. We indoors. You ain't got to worry about no goddamn wind. So, yeah. Let him kick it. You just make sure you send motherfuckers down there because you know they're going to have somebody down there in the end zone ready to catch the ball if it falls short. It's just stupid shit like that. I'm like, you're going to fucking miss that goddamn, you're going to miss them 3 points that you could have had. You know what I'm saying? If you miss it, oh, fuck well. And they just do. They just say, oh, we get the ball in the start the second. And fuck that. You know, that conservative, you ain't good enough to be conservative like that. You know what I'm saying? Not in that situation. You ain't good enough to be conservative like that on defense. I mean, on offense. You need to put points on the board. And the way to let the back end of the game was going, it's just like you lucked out. You know what I'm saying? You lucked out. The defense did its job, but look, The defense got away with some shit. I ain't going. The game is over now. You know, I don't be want to jinx the shit during the game, but now that the game is over with, defense got away with some shit. Defense got lucky on some shit. Some calls went their way, and you know, it's a reason why the fans and shit was booing after the game. I totally fucking understand. I'm sitting there watching the goddamn game too. But, you know, everybody that watch football and they got their team, your team done been on the ass end of them goddamn calls and shit during the game. So you like, well, shit evens out at some goddamn point. You know, there's some shit that wouldn't go, like it was a face mask that didn't get called. Hey, that shit was right there on the goddamn screen. I'm like, they didn't call that. You know, they got a little pass. What was it? It was some kind of. Was it a defensive holding? Matter of fact, that was a. I'm trying to think of what it was. It was some kind of play, you know, that they got that was tic-tac shit that probably shouldn't get called and all kind of shit. It is what it is, man. Shit happens. That shit can go on either play, any Sunday. You know, them goddamn calls can go any goddamn way. You just ain't really a whole lot you can do about that. So, as far as the defense, that's about it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a whole bunch of sacks, and I'm sitting there waiting. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, y'all got this motherfucker out here with a broke goddamn leg, and we get back there once. That I remember. Was it once? I think it was just once they got back there, and I'm thinking that they would be able to generate a little bit more pressure, and they didn't even get that wasn't even no normal shit. Fucking Anderson came up the middle on that shit like a middle linebacker. He wasn't on the edge like he usually be. So that even came off of some weird ass shit. Everything else though, that the Colts offensive line held up pretty goddamn good. So I'm like, okay, well, we not putting a lot of pressure on them like I would like, and which I'm like, you know, like I say, they talk shit about these goddamn quarterbacks and shit like that, but I'm just like, that motherfucker putting the ball where it need to be. You know what I'm saying? They was able to disrupt them enough, but I think it would have been a whole lot better if they'd have been able to put him on his ass with a maybe 1-2 more sacks. I ain't saying you on 8 sack a motherfucker like you did goddamn Allen, but you know what I'm saying? That I think you need to get him more than 1 sack and disrupt him a little bit more, to have him thinking about a little bit more shit, other than, you know, just, you know, being able to pick apart your goddamn defense, because you can sit back there. Because, you know, Daniel Jones, I'm like, I guess we see why they call him Danny Dimes, motherfuckers. He dropped some dimes like a motherfucker out there, and I was getting discouraged after a while, because fucking that time of the game came in the fourth quarter. Goddamn Jonathan Taylor started picking up, and I'm like, oh, here we go. You know, we done had this man locked up the whole goddamn game except for that one goddamn screenplay. Now all of a sudden this motherfucker finna, man. And you know the secret is? You know what the secret is to a good running back? It's lateral. It's the lateral movement. It's the lateral movement. If your running back ain't got no lateral movement, if your offensive line ain't just straight up just bulldozing motherfuckers off the ball, it's that lateral movement that get you every goddamn time. That's why Woody Marks gets a little more yards than Nick Chubb. because he has a little bit better lateral movement than Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb gets shit run plays though. Just I put it like that. Even though he did get a touchdown in this game, and I was like, man, won't they ever run like a toss or something with Nick Chubb? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I understand they want to get Woody Marks involved and all this other shit, but they don't get him involved like people think he should be involved. You know, they really don't. He get more carries, but everybody be like, yeah, you need to get him involved in the passing game. Not okay, we gonna get him involved, and then you give him all the carries running up and got up the goddamn field and shit. The shit don't work most of the time. I'm sorry, it don't. You get one or two good runs running in between the tackles, but other than that, even running on the outside, you go boom, run them on the outside. They be ready for that shit. It's just like like I say, the Texans ain't schemed up for that. You know what I'm saying? I think they got the personnel to be able to do it. They got the personnel to do whatever the fuck they want. You know what I'm saying? But the scheme that they got in place is not to take advantage of the motherfuckers they got in the backfield. They receivers and shit. Yeah, you know they got enough receivers where don't nobody look overly impressive. You know what I'm saying? They, you know, it's like, because they can throw the ball wherever. Higgins can get that motherfucker. Collins can get that motherfucker. Kirk gonna get that motherfucker. Fucking up. Schultz gonna get that motherfucker. The ball can go all over the goddamn place. So, you know, when it comes to the passing game, the shit is straight. It's the running game that's fucking off. And they really, 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 really need to analyze that. They really do. They need to analyze that and be like, okay, what the fuck do we need to do to get our running game where it need to be? Because it's not a personnel problem. It's not. It is not a personnel problem. And it pisses me off, man. It really does. I'm like, man, what are y'all doing? Run the ball, then they run the ball again on second down or some shit like that. I'm like, no, you can't do that. Remember, you're the 2025 Houston Texans. You can't run the ball twice in a row like that. You ain't got it like that. You know what I'm saying? If you run the ball on first down and you get you a good, 5-6 yards, yeah, you need to back them up. You know what I'm saying? You need to back them up. Stop doing it here. Because they finna give 1 or 2 of them yards back. They finna run the ball again, and they don't get met in the goddamn backfield. They finna get met in the goddamn backfield. That shit pisses me off also. Why is this motherfucker back here with our running back when he get the goddamn ball? And sometimes I be wondering what, like I said, I don't know what the blocking scheme and all that shit is supposed to look like, but it don't look like other teams look when they running the ball on us. Even when we get our big runs, it's some shit where the running back had to do some extraordinary shit. You know what I'm saying? The running back had to do some extraordinary ass shit, to get the ball up the goddamn field 6-7 yards. When other teams do it, their offensive lineman is 5 yards up the goddamn field with the running back behind them and shit. And I'm talking about between the tackle shit. It was a running play I watched from the 49ers game. They gave the ball to fucking McCaffrey, and it was just, it was a running place where he was supposed to get the ball, probably make a read and head up the goddamn field straight ahead. Man, this man got the ball, and it was like a wall of it was like from the left guard, center, right guard, and tackle. It was like a big ass wall 4 yards up the goddamn field. They job like, how you do that? He just snapped the ball. Just Wide the fuck ass open. All he had to do was just go, yeah. You don't get no shit like that when it comes to the Texans. Never. None. It just don't happen. The offense ain't schemed up for that. Could they do it? Yeah, but it ain't. That's not in our offensive playbook to have shit like that happen. It's not. And I get it, everybody's supposed to push who is ever in front of them, and the running back is just supposed to get the ball flat-footed most of the time and kind of decide where the fuck to go after that, which is usually no goddamn where. You got to do something different, man. Nick Haley, you got to do something different. You know, you call the pass game pretty good, but you are not you're not well versed in the run game. That's some shit you need to work on, son. You know what I'm saying? That really is. They need to get somebody else in the building. Because they have pass game coordinators. You know what I'm saying? You got the offense coordinator, you got a pass game coordinator, and I'm assuming they have a run game coordinator. I've heard all those titles before. I don't know specifically for the Texans, but I've heard all those titles before on teams. And I'm like, well, whoever's the run game coordinator needs to start coordinating some better shit. You know, you need to start scouting. You know, the game is over now. He need to be somewhere on his phone watching all these other goddamn football games on Sunday, seeing what the fuck they doing. What are they doing? How are they able to move the goddamn ball? You know what I'm saying? What kind of plays are they running compared to what the fuck we doing? Because what we doing ain't fucking working. I don't even know if we've had a 100-yard rusher this season. I don't think we have. You know what? I'm thinking. I don't think we've had a 100-yard rusher this year. No, I don't think we have. We got motherfuckers that's capable. You know, Woody Marks is capable. If you calling the right type of plays and shit like that, yeah. Nick Chubb is capable. If you running the right kind of goddamn plays, hell yeah. Nick Chubb, Nick Chubb is okay. He's okay. He's okay now. He'd be good on another team. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, Nick Chubb would be good on another team. Or, on the Texans, he looked like he probably, just came off the goddamn practice squad or some shit like that. No, Nick Chubb would be good on another team. Hell. Fucking Woody Marks is doing okay now. He's even doing better now. He'd probably be awesome on another goddamn team. You know what I'm saying? But in this system, whatever the fucking running backs are supposed to be doing, in the offensive line, in the blocking game, the running scheme, that it ain't about shit. It ain't about shit. And like I said before, it ain't the personnel. It's not the personnel. You bring any other running back in here, he's not gonna do shit. You're not gonna do shit. You stick another running back in here, not gonna do nothing. He's not gonna do anything. He's not gonna do it. There's nowhere for him to run but into the asses of the people standing in front of him. That's it. So I've hopped on enough about that. Stroud is gonna be okay. You know what I'm saying? His first game back, he got to get into the groove of things, and he did well enough. You know what I'm saying? He did well enough. And I saw some, another thing I noticed, I saw a little similarity. Where when Mills was playing, and I saw some shit where he was booping, he slang that motherfucker off his back foot, you know what I'm saying, or some shit like that. I thought that was a Mills thing. I thought that was a Mills thing until I'm like, Stroud doing the same thing. So I'm guessing, not that you're supposed to throw off your back foot, but it's like one of them things where you back in your drop back or whatever, and some shit pop open before, you know, and you got to do it. You know what I'm saying? You can't and then do that shit. You just got to wrap, you know, and you might be on the wrong foot or some shit. And I know, I noticed that. I was like, hey, that's them look like the same kind of throws. What the fuck else would I call that dude? Davis Mills was making. I thought that was just him throwing off on the wrong foot, you know, just trying to do it. And I was like, well, apparently that's part of the goddamn offense. Not that you probably supposed to do that, but the way the timing and shit work on stuff, if motherfucker break open in one of them slants and you got to just let that bitch go, you know, you off balance that bitch. As long as it get there. Not down the field, but, you know, on the slant route or some shit like that, yeah, I see it. So, but I'm not worried about CJ Stroud right now. I'm not worried about our passing offense, but the goddamn penalties, man, those penalties, you know, they got bailed out today with some kind of defense. Oh, that was what I was trying to talk about earlier, and I was thinking it was on the other team. Yeah, they had a little defensive holding penalty or some shit, and it just Texans ended up getting a first down, and I was like, yeah, y'all got lucked out on that. But even then, I'm just like, come on. Wait a minute. Texas scored 20 points. The game just over. You think I should be on top of this shit? Texas had 20 points. You got Chubb scored a touchdown. Nico scored a touchdown. He scored a rushing touchdown. Okay. And then, okay, all right, I got it. Okay. I had to try to account for them. I couldn't think of the other touchdown. I'm like, wait a minute, how the fuck did they? There we go. It's fucking Nico with that rushing touchdown. I was like, because I'm trying to think. I was like, because you think of touchdown with the Texans, you think of a passing touchdown, and I'm like, who the? I don't remember seeing Nico almost had a passing touchdown, but his foot barely out of bounds. Shit you can do about that. That man spent all this time dancing on the sideline making catches and shit like that. You know, that sideline gonna jump up and grab you at some point. You know, and that sideline gonna be like, yeah, you been skirting this motherfucker all year. No, get your ass back up here. And when you catch the ball going in the direction, your momentum is gonna take you, you know, to a certain degree. You just ain't nothing you can do about that. So, they ran a fucking Wildcat. Usually I would get mad at that. Like, what the fuck are you doing? I don't know what I said when he ran it. I probably said something smart. But I'm like, you know, at least it was not the same old shit. You know what I'm saying? I would expect it. It wasn't no different if they'd have ran any normal running play. Just put it like that. If they'd have ran any normal running play, they probably would have got the same -1 yard that they got on that goddamn Wildcat. Who the fuck was you fooling with that? I have no idea. God damn, son. Yeah. They wasn't fooling nobody on that shit. Now that reverse to Nico, that was nice. That was nice. You know. You gotta run shit like that every once in a while. Keep motherfuckers honest and shit. But it can't be every guy. Well, who the fuck was that Bobby Slowick at one point? Every time you turn around, he was running some weird ass weird ass reverse or some goddamn halfback pass type shit. I think they tried to do that last week. I think they tried to run that halfback pass or something like it, and Hutchinson had the ball and he couldn't. He had the reverse field, but he ended up getting up field for a good amount of yards, reversing it around. So they'll try it, but at least it ain't one of them things where every time you turn around they try to do some weird ass shit. Now, what I did kind of notice with the offense is that they probably ran a new install. They had to have run a new install in practice because they figured they had 10 days. They probably figured they had time to put in some new shit, and motherfuckers couldn't line up right. That's it. And the motherfuckers couldn't line up right. They got like 2 illegal formation penalties in a goddamn row or some shit. They end up like three of those in the game, if I'm not mistaken. Where motherfuckers is not lining up right. Either not covering up the end or lining up on the tackle that's supposed to be, where you're supposed to be off the ball and shit. And just like, I was sitting up here like, these motherfuckers can't even line up right. The fuck are they doing? You can't even line up right. And it's just like, they got like they got 2 plays in a row with that shit. And then, maybe I don't be watching the goddamn, the Texans plays close enough, but I did notice a weird amount of motion. Like, I don't remember them having that much goddamn motion back and forth across the goddamn formation like that. I'm like, what is that? You have a motherfucker run across, or do a little bloop bloop and see if somebody follow him. Okay, you got a motherfucker going I'm just like, what the? And was that last week? Or was that this game? I don't even remember now. I remember seeing some shit where I think it was this game. It might have been this game. Well, they was out there. I'm waiting for them to get on, line up for the play, and they standing out there like they was in formation, but they were just like, it's like they was out there in formation, but didn't nobody look like they knew what the fuck they were supposed to do. And they wasn't standing out there like they was getting ready to run the play. They was standing out there like they was waiting on something. And the goddamn play clock was going down. I think they had to call a timeout. And I'm like, what the fuck are y'all doing? I'm like, y'all out there, y'all look like y'all trying to line up, and everybody looking back like they don't know what the fuck they doing. It wasn't just, what the fuck? And they got to me thinking, and I'm sure this happens all the time on all the teams. I'm pretty sure this ain't nothing new for nobody, where they call a play, blah, 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 blah. Motherfucker got the formation or some shit, but everything don't go in. You know what I'm saying? Everything don't go in. They out there, they're in their formation. They don't know exactly what the fuck they supposed to do. So when they call a play, they just like, fuck it. I'm just for to run a route. You know what I'm saying? I'm just for to run a goddamn route and hope it's the right one. I'm sure that shit goes on at least 25% of the plays, in the NFL game. Goddamn. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty goddamn sure it does. Especially the way I hear them calling some of the plays and shit. I'm just like, fuck, supposed to memorize all that shit. It's a reason. You would, if I was a quarterback, you'd have to pay me, $300 goddamn million to memorize some bullshit somebody done pull out they fucking ass like that. It's ridiculous. And the goddamn Steelers are getting ran over right now by fucking everybody in there. Goddamn. Anywho, 7-4. Texans are 7-5. Can't even get shit right. Texans are 7-5. They are fucking 4-1. I gotta think. Are they 4-1? Let me see. They beat Jacksonville. They lost to Jacksonville. They beat Jacksonville. They lost to Jacksonville. I said it in the wrong order. They beat the Titans twice. And then, yeah, they 4-1 in the goddamn division. They 4-1 in the damn division. And this is what I was talking about last week. They 4-1 in the goddamn division. The worst they can finish is 4-2. So if they play the Colts on the last goddamn game of the season. So ain't no telling how that's liable to go. But if they finish, because the rest of the division still got to play each other. You know what I'm saying? They really do. The rest of the division still got to play each other, because the Texans are 4-1 in the division. But if you look at everybody else's division record, they hadn't even really played each other yet. So the Texans are like 4-1, and then all the rest of the teams, they just starting to play each other now. So I'm like, the Texans are liable to finish the season with the best division record. But they won't win the division if they don't have like the best record. You know what I'm saying? They're like, it's weird, man. It's just like, okay, if the Texans, like the Texans, God damn it, the Texans should be at the top right now. Like literally, the Texans should be at the top of the goddamn division. They got the best division record. You know what I'm saying? Out of those 4 teams, they got the best goddamn record. They fucking 4-1. You know what I'm saying? They fucking 4-1 in the goddamn division. So they should win the goddamn division. If not, what's the point of having the goddamn division if you just gonna go by the goddamn overall record? You know what I'm saying? If the Jaguars or the Colts finish with a better record than the Texans, and they have a worse division record, well, they didn't win the division. They have a better overall record, but they didn't win the division. So they should be the division winners. And then those motherfuckers get to fight for the goddamn wild card spots. Don't that make sense? To me, it makes sense. Well, what's the point of having the division record down there then? You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, what's the point of having the goddamn division record if it's not even gonna be primary in the seeding? I think the division record should be primary in the seeding. You win the division, whether the overall record don't matter. Y'all in this box for a reason. You the best team in that box. You the best team in that box. So you get the division. I don't know. I might do a video on Instagram or Facebook saying that, echoing that same sentiment and being like, that's how I think it should fucking work. I really do. I think that's how it should fucking work. If the Texans finish this year with the best division record, they win the goddamn division. And then whoever's behind us, the Colts and the Jaguars, if they still in the fucking If they records are good enough to be in the seedings or for whatever, then they get seeded with that. But they don't get the little division things. Just meh. Anyway, I'm finna get out of here. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next Talking Texans, whenever the hell that might be. More likely next week when we play the Chiefs. And hopefully, I think we're on the road for that too. So, woo. Are we on the road for that? Yes, we are on the road for that. So, man, I'm hoping that the Texans, I'm hoping they can pull it out. I have confidence in the defense, but offense, y'all need to figure some shit out, man.